Hello and welcome. My name is Vineet Malhotra and you're watching a Newsx World. Let's take a look at the top stories of this hour. Well, Israeli forces have started withdrawing from parts of Gaza under a ceasefire and hostage exchange deal phase one ratified by the Israeli cabinet. The truce brokered with Hamas will take effect within 24 hours, with the release of hostages and some Palestinian prisoners expected within 72 hours. The United States will deploy 200 troops to support and monitor the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. And according to media reports, meanwhile, Turkish President Erdogan has said that Turkey will join a task force to oversee the agreement signed in Egypt, while Israel has confirmed that prominent Palestinian prisoner Marwan Barghouti will not be part of the prisoner release deal. And Russia has launched missile and drone attacks on Kyiv today, plunging the Ukrainian capital into darkness, damaging critical infrastructure and wounding at least 9 people. According to Ukrainian officials, the strikes have also killed a 7-year-old child in Zaporizhia and forced evacuations in the Donbas region. Sweden has announced a $367 million investment to boost its anti-drone defenses, including systems to down drones and deploy hunter drones amid rising aerial threats. The funding will also enhance the JAS-39 Gripen fighter jets as Europe faces growing concerns over hybrid attacks. And U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warned that air traffic controllers who repeatedly failed to report to work during the government shutdown could be fired. More than 3,300 flights were delayed on Thursday as the disruptions continued, prompting senators to urge airlines to issue refunds as government shutdown entered its 9th day. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has praised friendly and cooperative ties with China as he hosted Chinese Premier Li Qiang and other foreign dignitaries for the 80th anniversary of the Workers' Party. The celebrations, attended by Russia's Dmitry Medvedev, come as Pyongyang prepares a massive military parade. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has won the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize for her fight to restore democracy and defend human rights, according to the Norwegian Nobel Committee. The committee said that Machado's recognition comes at a time when authoritarians seize power, highlighting her courageous resistance. A magnitude 7.5 earthquake has struck southern Philippines, killing at least 2 people in Mati City, Davao Oriental, and triggering tsunami warnings in the Philippines and Indonesia. According to local seismology authorities, they have issued evacuation orders for coastal residents as aftershocks continue to shake the region. All right, Israel has published the full list of 250 Palestinian security prisoners serving life sentences who are slated to release as part of the hostage ceasefire agreement. The list released by the Justice Ministry comes the morning after the cabinet approved the US-backed deal aimed at returning the remaining hostages and permanently ending the Gaza war. Of the 250 prisoners, 15 will be released to East Jerusalem, 100 to the West Bank, and 135 are slated for deportation. In addition to these security prisoners, another 1,700 Gazan detainees who were arrested after but not involved in the Hamas-led October 7th attack will also be freed, either returning to the Strip or exiled abroad. The prisoners are expected to be released only after a 72-hour period, during which all hostages, living and dead, are to be returned. Meanwhile, it has also been said that an EU-monitored Gaza pedestrian crossing is to reopen next week. U.S. envoy Stephen Witkoff has also said that after troop withdrawal, hostages are to be released. All right, Professor Vasily Popovsky, Professor and Vice Dean at the Jindal Global Law School, is joining us from New Delhi. Sir, appreciate you joining us. First of all, how do you look at this peace program? A number of people are not as optimistic as one would like to be that this is going to last. What are your impressions of what's happening here?
Well, let's start with the good news that those people will go back home. It's good for the families to have the hostages back, and the Palestinian prisoners will also join their families, those who are not connected to Hamas. Definitely good news for all those 250, but also the 1,700 arrested during the war in Gaza. So good news for the people and families. But you are right that it's just a step which usually always happens in every ceasefire. Nothing surprising. Prisoners exchange is always part of between the worst enemies in history that it happened during the Second World War between Nazi Germany and France and Soviet Union. So there is nothing so to celebrate apart from, as I said, the families that will rejoin with their loved ones. But yes, many questions remain as to the future of the entire Middle East problem. And this needs still to be negotiated. What will happen, for example, with the two-state solutions? We don't see any positive signal from Israel to accept the existence of a Palestinian state, something that more than 100 countries in the world already recognize Palestine as an independent state. What will happen in Gaza itself? There are declarations of attempts to contribute, monitors, even reconstruction efforts, food delivery first and foremost. Obviously, a humanitarian disaster there needs to be addressed with immediate supplies of food and other humanitarian assistance. Also good news to see that the European Union monitored Gaza entry will be also reopened. All of those are good news, but the big question, Vinit, remains what will happen long term as to the two-state solution, something the majority of the world population and states support, but not a major player like Israel and the United States. So still a lot of question marks. Again, another question will be what will happen with the Palestinian Authority and Gaza. Who will be long-term the ruling force in Gaza? Obviously, Hamas would not be acceptable here, whether the Palestinian Authority will be, and I don't see anybody else. Palestinian Authority long-term, again, short-term, we might have some peacekeepers from Arab countries. Turkey has suggested some troops on the ground. All these are very good and welcome news.
All right.
But long-term, how viable will be the Palestinian states is a question.
All right. Appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you so much. Moving on, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that all hostages held by Hamas since October the 7th, 2023 will return in the coming days as part of a US brokered deal to end the two-year war in Gaza. Netanyahu confirmed Israeli forces will remain in the Gaza Strip even as a ceasefire took effect at noon local time. The Israeli military says that troops are now withdrawing to agreed upon lines to reduce contact with civilians but will still control roughly half of Gaza's territory. Let's listen into the comments of the Israeli leader.
אני ידעתי שאם ניכנס בעוצמה למעוז האחרון שנותר בידי החמאס, העיר עזה, ואם נשמיד בה את כל מרכזי הכוח שלו, החמאס ירצה להציל את שלטונו. אני גם חשבתי שאם נוסיף ללחץ הצבאי המסיבי שלנו, לחץ מדיני מסיבי של ידידנו הגדול הנשיא טראמפ, השילוב העוצמתי הזה יגרום לחמאס להשיב את כל חטופינו, כשצה"ל נשאר עמוק בתוך הרצועה, ומחזיק בכל הנקודות השולטות בה. בדרך הזו, אנחנו לופתים את החמאס. אנחנו לופתים אותו מכל עבר, לקראת השלבים הבאים של התוכנית, שבהם החמאס יפורק מנשקו, ועזה תפורז. אם הדבר הזה יושג בדרך הקלה, מה טוב. ואם לא, הוא יושג בדרך הקשה.
All right, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in fact, is saying that the peace plan will be, of course, accorded in phases. There's a strategy to all of this. But the good news is that the Gazan citizens who had started pushing themselves south of the Strip will now go back to the northern areas, which were controlled entirely by the IDF and other Israeli forces as well. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza is also something which will find respite as a result of this peace process. All right, Professor Vasily Popovsky is back with us on the program. So once again, welcome back. Mr. Netanyahu said that, you know, everything cannot happen in one phase alone. Every peace process, every war that has ended has led to some sort of a resolutions which have come phase-wise and stage-wise. And that's exactly what we are also going to see in Gaza and certain parts of Palestine. Do you think this is the right way of going about it? Both the parties, the Hamas as well as the IDF and the Israeli forces, have kept some leverage in terms of prisoners and detainees that they will hold on to until this is complete.
Yes, there is some truth in that the peace process takes time, and there are steps. As we mentioned earlier, the prisoners exchange is like normal first step. And many times it happened even during the armed conflict. It's not necessary to wait for the peace agreement. Prisoners exchange can happen at any time, and it did happen at any time in previous wars and conflict. There is nothing wrong with that. Actually, it's very understandable because the sides don't need to keep, especially I don't understand why they keep dead bodies. Why on earth somebody will keep dead bodies as a leverage? I really don't understand that. But anyway, some warring factions do that, and that's absolutely, for me, beyond understanding. But yes, it will take time. This is the first step. As we said, very welcome for the families to get their boys back at homes and to celebrate the reunion of families. It's a good news. We should probably be positive today in sense of welcoming that small progress. Both sides agree on that. Definitely we should mention Egyptians and Qatari, the two countries with their mediators playing the big role here is for Egypt. And it's not Donald Trump, by the way. Donald Trump did zero efforts here. He just announced, he just talked. The real mediators were the Egyptians and the Qataris, which we even don't know the names of, but they deserve the praise for what happened yesterday and today.
Fair enough, sir. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. Well, the Afghan Taliban has accused Pakistan of violating Kabul's sovereign territory, describing it as an unprecedented, violent and provocative act. The allegation comes after two loud blasts were heard in the city on Thursday. Pakistan had also bombed a civilian market in the border province of Patika in Afghanistan's southeast. The Taliban Defense Ministry said in a statement that Pakistan has neither confirmed nor denied that they launched an attack inside Afghanistan. Pakistan has long accused the Afghan Taliban of permitting the Pakistan Taliban, also known as the TTP, to operate from their land. The Taliban government have always denied this. The Taliban Defense Ministry warned in its statement that should the situation become worse, the consequences will be attributable to the Pakistani army. However, Taliban's foreign minister, who is currently in the Indian capital Delhi, said that they wanted to maintain good relations with Pakistan. Ambassador Suresh Kumar Goel, former Indian diplomat, is joining us on the broadcast. Ambassador Goel, thank you so much for being here. Well, important to understand that both the countries have been playing this hide and seek game when it comes to these attacks. Pakistan accusing the Afghan government of sheltering and shielding the TTP, whereas the Afghan government saying that the Pakistani army has been unnecessarily aggressive towards Afghanistan. What do you make of the situation, sir?
Well, it is not the first time that these kind of skirmishes have taken place. I'm using the word skirmish rather loosely because, in fact, even though there has been no violation of the territory, but there have been attacks. And there have, in the sense that Pakistani army has, yes, attacked the Taliban elements across the border, and they try to push even the Afghanistan refugees living in Pakistan across the border. So in that sense, these kind of the confrontations have continued. Now, the issue really here is that at one time, one had thought the Taliban and Pakistan are great allies, and the differences have come up. And the Afghan foreign minister is in India, as you said, for 6 days. And today, I think, is the second day for discussions. What I see happening really is is again another strategic conflagration where the USA is trying to basically get back into Afghanistan. Pakistan is using that opportunity to find the strategic confluence. Sometime back, we was discussing about the recent rapprochement between USA and Pakistan, and I think Afghanistan, I think very strongly that Afghanistan and China are part of it. China, in fact, is also using Pakistan to find a good deal with USA, but that is not the part of this discussion. And therefore, I would say that what is happening in Afghanistan is a pressure tactic from Pakistan to try and see that Afghanistan realigns itself with Pakistan and help USA get access into Afghanistan, the air base. And what is happening is Afghanistan, having remembered or knowing what Pakistan is up to, they want to keep their options open. So this is going to continue for some more time to come. In fact, I think pretty long time to come, but it's not going to be resolved so easily. My initial thought, Vinny.
All right, Ambassador Goel, appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you. Well, a powerful 6.9 magnitude aftershock has struck the southern Philippines, shaking communities already devastated by a deadly quake earlier in the day and triggering a new tsunami alert. The tremor hit at the island in the evening, prompting the Philippine Seismology Agency to warn off life-threatening wave heights and urge residents along the coast to immediately evacuate to higher ground or move further inland. It followed a 7.4 magnitude earthquake that struck off Mindanao today morning, killing at least 6 people and injuring dozens more. The earlier quake triggered regional tsunami warnings, later lifted by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. Authorities say 3 miners died when tunnels collapsed in the mountains near Mane, while others were killed in Mati and Davao cities after buildings and walls gave way. This comes just 11 days after another major quake killed 75 people in Cebu, underlying the region's growing seismic instability. Rescue teams are now racing to reach affected areas, many of them remote and accessible only by dirt roads. Vibhuti Rai, geologist, is joining us from Lucknow at this point in time. Vibhuti, what do you make of this seismic activity that we are seeing in this part of the world? Does it tell us something?
Oh yeah, actually this entire Philippine group of islands actually, they are formed on an island arc where 2 tectonic plates, they are moving towards each other. So the Pacific plate, which is mainly part of the entire Pacific Ocean, is actually moving at the rate of 8 centimeters per year towards west, where there is Eurasian plate. And all along this lies the various islands of the Philippines. Now, this particular earthquake is the one that happened this evening and the one in the morning. Besides that, the one you just mentioned 11 days ago, they are all part of this trench system, which is called as Philippines Trench, which is on the eastern part of the Philippine Islands. And within the island also, we have a strike-slip fault. And there also we are having a lot of tectonic activity. This tectonic activity in Philippines is not new. Almost for the last 150 years, they are known. And most of these earthquakes are of the Richter scale magnitude 6 and more. The maximum one was 6.9 earlier, a couple of years ago. But this 7.4 earthquake, that is actually in the ocean, because this trench is in the ocean. But very nearby our islands, as you have mentioned, and 6 people have died. That is one of the main reasons the tsunami was expected. But it has been now reduced, that warning system has reduced the effect. Hardly, I think, a few tens of centimeters of waves were found there in the Sulawesi island areas and also in the southern part of Philippines. So this is the reason we are seeing more of tectonic activity. In fact, just to add that in the Kamchatka region last month, there were a few similar high magnitude earthquakes. That is also part of the Pacific plate hitting there's a kind of a distress system where the Eurasian plate and Pacific plate are moving towards each other. So in recent, I think, months, we have seen a lot of tectonic activity in the Pacific plate.
All right, Vibhuti,
And that
appreciate you
needs
joining us. We have a paucity of time, but definitely appreciate your inputs here. Moving on, Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado says her country will prevail after winning the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize, expressing confidence that Venezuela will achieve a peaceful transition to democracy. Speaking to the Norwegian Nobel Institute's director, a visibly moved Machado said that award is an achievement of a whole society, adding, "I'm just one person. We bring to you the emotional phone call taking place between Machado, I beg your pardon, and the director of the Norwegian Nobel Institute." Listen in.
Maria Corina?
Yes, Maria Corina. My name is Christian Berg-Harpviken. I am the secretary of the Norwegian Nobel Committee in Oslo. And I'm calling to inform you that in a few minutes it shall be announced here at the Nobel Institute that you will be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for 2025.
Oh my God.
So
Oh
the
my
warmest congratulations to you, Maria.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, I have no words. I thank you so much, but I hope you understand this is a movement. This is a achievement of a whole society. I am just one person. I certainly do not deserve this. Oh my God.
I think both the movement and you deserve it.
I'm honored, humbled. I am very grateful on behalf of the Venezuelan people. We're not there yet. We're working very hard to achieve it, but I'm sure that we will prevail. And this is certainly a biggest recognition to our people that certainly deserve it. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Well, this is all we have time for. We will continue to bring you more updates from around the world. Thank you for watching.